Our main concern is to do with the epidemic called HIV and AIDS. When this disease emerged in Africa, we got shock everywhere, and really our people were dying, regardless whether you are circumcised or if you are uncircumcised. Because I remember I lost many of my uncles in Gizoland. Then the interventions were initiated internationally, how to come and fight this cause. The most effective method, I remember, and maybe many of you can remember, actually that was condom use. With the years, actually we were sure to register good results by reducing HIV infections among African countries. I remember Uganda was being praised internationally for that fight, and actually the figures were going down, and we were happy that maybe one day we may compart and end this problem that was real, that was and in fact is to clear humanity. Well, people have been that war, hoping we are winning the war. Then eventually we had another intervention that shocked us. This intervention was designed by certain powerful force in the world by only targeting an African person in his own continent. Now, because people say if a slave has no power over his masters, I believe it's maybe through pressure that our leaders in Africa had to bow for that pressure, that circumcision is the solution to HIV infections in Africa. India was left, China was left, Russia was left, Europe was left, Brazil was left. In fact, all those countries that actually don't circumcise, actually, their men, they were left, but the target was on African person. Money came in full to influence our leaders because they love money. So the programs were headed by the Ministry of Health. They were rolled down. They started to target groups that or communities that do not circumcise by emphasizing this point: come for free circumcision, you will not get HIV. Then we said, now where are we? I remember the first cases actually were initiated in Rakai, first projects of its kind, Rakai in Uganda. After 10 years, there was no success that was registered. We have been questioning the Western researchers and scientists to give us data, any data that proves through their research, through their projects and concepts, that circumcision of male reduce HIV infections in Africa or in Kenya or in Uganda. That data has never been revealed, either shown, either documented. The argument is only one, that we are having maybe 50,000 people we are going to target, or maybe we have already cut. If we go to the medical practitioner centers and those actually concerned with that work, we ask them, how did you sustain your project to ensure that what you are doing, what you are aiming at, is really sustained and actually is going to yield good results? One day I asked another doctor, do you make any follow-up to people that you circumcise? They say, no, we don't make follow-up. Outside we tell them, come for free circumcision, that inside here we do some counseling by advising them after cutting, go and use condom. Well, that missing dimension in the scientific world has led us to question the research of male circumcision as the best weapon to fight HIV in Africa in terms of medical, human rights, spirituality, and other aspects actually in life. That's why I thought that I should come up with a study, and this study leads us to some questions. Because we are seeing HIV is now, instead of going down, as previous years we were trying to register through promotion of condoms and other means, HIV actually is now again rising up very rapidly. Because when we read the statistics from African countries, Uganda, Kenya, where, especially the areas that these people came to target. In fact, I could say male circumcision as a project that has been applied for we African, it has failed to reduce HIV the way we were told. Two, we view it as a violation of human rights, how to target only one race in the entire world. Yet we were able to combat this epidemic through the means that were initially put and recommended by WHO and other bodies in the world. Two, we are looking at this point. Since male circumcision cannot reduce, because actually there's no conclusive evidence whatsoever in which sense of the science that a man who's circumcised cannot get HIV. If it was so, then I would say that my uncle, Huabagisu, would not be dying of AIDS now. I personally have lost my cousins. My tribe also circumcised people. I've lost my cousins, my people. Some of them are today living with HIV. Some of them are dying because of HIV. And in fact, they were circumcised. Logical, by common sense, America has the highest number of people who are circumcised actually in the whole world. And America has the highest figures of HIV in the whole world. So our study is a very simple study. We need to hear, because we are moving to hear the views of the people. We have been to target groups like sex workers. We wanted to hear how they experience this circumcision, sex, and actually HIV, because they are saying since the introduction of male circumcision, they use the word condom is no longer today being taken seriously by their clients, because they claim they were told, maybe they were conned, maybe they were bribed, maybe they were done what? Come and get circumcision so that you may be immune against HIV. Now they say this client, they come, they refuse to wear condoms because they are safe. Why should they really wear condoms? Now, because of poverty, these women accept to go with these people by charging them very high amount than a person who would go there to go and use a condom. If you go there and in fact, you use a condom, they will charge you less money. But you, because you say you have that strong immunity, these sex workers, they charge you very highly. So we are looking at this point that the project, the way it was brought to those who are big business, it's actually beneficial. It's actually okay in the eyes. But those who are being affected and infected, we feel it's actually harming our humanity, harming our future generation.